Okay, guys, number one, read this dictionary entry. Which definition of stand is used in paragraph 6? Okay, so I'm going to go look first and then pick my entry. Paragraph 6. Ice cream wasn't placed into a cone until 1904. A man selling crispy waffles at a fair noticed that people would leave his stand. To go to the ice cream booth. So I'm thinking a stand is like a booth. A frame used to hold something upright. No. A small structure for which products are sold. In this case, the products would be ice cream. A raised platform from which a person makes a speech. No. The place where a witness presents information in a courtroom. No, that would be very off topic to pick that one. So it is the small structure from which products are sold. What problem did people experience when the ice cream was first made in America? Okay, so I need to go look about when it was first made and what the problems were. It was in paragraph 4. At first not popular. So let's read and see why it's not popular. When people came from Europe to America in the 1700s, they brought their recipes for ice cream with them. But the frozen treat did not become very popular. It was difficult to find and keep the ice needed to make the dessert. It took a long time to mix the ingredients, and then the mixture had to be frozen for several hours before it could be eaten. So there's our problems right there. Difficult to find, difficult to keep the ice, probably because many people didn't have freezers, or they weren't even invented then. It took a long time to mix the ingredients, and it had to be frozen several hours. Okay, the right spices were not available. That was not one of the problems listed. The ice cream would melt inside the cone. This is not about the cone. It's just about keeping the ice cream itself. Ice cream froze too quickly when being made? No. The ice needed for making the dessert was difficult to find. That was one of the reasons. So this was a text evidence question. All that we needed to do was go back and reread and make sure that we were looking in the right spot for our answer. Which of these best supports the title of the article? Okay. The title is A Dessert with a Long History. The table next to paragraph 4. And it looks like it's showing different years and stages of ice cream. So that is about the history. The photograph next to 5. This is showing Nancy Johnson's invention. The bar graph is showing people's favorite flavors. And the recipe at the bottom is just a for fun thing. So I'm thinking the table next to paragraph 4 best shows the history, because it has dates and the progression of ice cream. What is most likely the reason the recipe was included? Okay, so let's see. To indicate that most people make ice cream at home. To explain the process for using an ice cream machine. There's no machine in that recipe. We read it. To provide instructions for making ice cream. To show how people first made ice cream. No. I'm thinking it's to provide instructions because that's the purpose of a recipe, is to provide instructions. Um, it doesn't really say that most people make it at home because we know most people just buy it from the store now. So that really wouldn't be true for F. The photograph of people around the ice cream maker suggests it takes several hours to make ice cream with such a machine. Making ice cream can be a family activity. The progress of making ice cream has not changed for hundreds of years. Or using such a machine is difficult. Well, I definitely don't think it's D, because it doesn't look difficult, because in the picture, everyone looks very happy. And they look like they're having a good time. So let's see. Process for making ice cream has not changed. Well, seeing people make it doesn't really show me that the process has or has not changed. Making ice cream can be a family activity. It does look like their whole family is making ice cream together and having a good time, so that possibly could be our answer. It takes several hours to make ice cream with such a machine. If in our reading it showed us it does not take several hours, so that's not true. Harry put his ice cream treat on a stick. So let's go read that part. This is the text evidence. Ice cream bar. Okay. His daughter said that it was good, but too messy. Bert's son suggested that he put the ice cream on a stick the same way he would a lollipop. Okay, so it was to keep it from being so messy. To keep the ice cream from melting? No, it still melts. So less chocolate would be needed? No. So that it could be sold as a lollipop? No. To make eating the treat easier or less messy? Yes. The author organizes this article by describing how frozen treats have changed over time, explaining how the ice cream maker was invented. Well, that's not the only thing that they talk about. Listing the steps for making ice cream bars, not the only thing. Comparing the different ideas people have about ice cream. I don't really think so because it does start from the very beginning of ice cream and then goes to how we eat it today. So I think it's going to be A. Which of these is the best summary of the article? Okay, so we're looking for a beginning, middle, end. Americans love ice cream as a treat. National Ice Cream Month is celebrated during July. The frozen treat is easier to get now than hundreds of years ago. This doesn't mention China or the Europeans or anything, so I don't think that's a very good summary for our article. Hundreds of years ago, people began making different frozen treats. Europeans brought the idea to America. New ideas about how to make and serve the frozen treat have led to its wide popularity. Possibly. Sounds pretty good because they talk about the past, they talk about it coming over, and then the changes now. Hundreds of years ago, different ingredients were mixed with snow to make frozen treats. Some people have traveled far to get snow. Today, many different flavors of ice cream are available. This one doesn't mention how the treat has changed. It almost makes it sound like it's still being made out of snow. Hundreds of years ago, different ingredients were mixed. Oh, that's the one we just read. At a fair in 1904, people began eating ice cream and waffle cones. Okay, that kind of skips the first part where in China and the Europeans bringing it over, so it's not going to be that one. So we're left with G. Okay, we've got 2 more questions. Which sentence from the article supports the idea that early frozen desserts require great effort to make? So we're looking for an idea that it needs to support that it takes a great effort to make them. The Roman Emperor Nero sent his fastest runners into the mountains to gather snow. Maybe. The Chinese and Roman treats were unlike today's ice cream. That doesn't mention any kind of great effort. The desserts were made with small pieces of frozen ice and were similar to snow cones. That doesn't make for great effort either. When people came from Europe to America in 1700s, they brought their recipes for ice cream with them. Nothing about great effort. I think it takes a lot of effort for these runners to run up into the mountains and get snow and bring it back. So definitely A on this one. How were Harry Burt and the man who created ice cream cones similar? They both got ideas for their inventions from others. They both sold their frozen treats at a fair. I don't remember reading that the candy maker sold his at a fair. They both used waffles to hold their frozen treats. The candy maker did not do that. They developed their inventions during the same year. Let's see. I do not remember. So Harry Burt, our candy maker, said 1920. And then our cone was in 1904. So it's not the same year, but a man selling crispy waffles at a fair saw people mixing the waffles with the ice cream. And then Harry Burt's daughter and son gave him the idea to put it on a stick. So they did both get their ideas from other people because they're problem solvers. Okay, so this was a text evidence too. So it was just one that we needed to go look back at. Okay, I'm going to give you guys some time to go back and answer all your questions and then get those submitted for me so I can look them over.